And we are live. What is up, everybody? Aaron the dog back and hopefully a little more clear now. New setup is work in progress still, but definitely have it up and operational today. No worries on if we're going to have the Wi-Fi working. Just making sure that the dogs are all settled. With me, as always, Lewis of Norton MMA. This week, it's the UFC Fight Night Battle of the Rafaels, Dos Anjos versus Fiziev in the main event. Great main event. How you doing, Lewis?
Yeah, not bad. There's some good fights on this card, but towards the top, it actually seems to get a little worse.
Yeah, I mean that happened. I honestly that was like a norm. I think a lot early in the year, and anytime you have main card Sherman and Vandera there on the main card
You
again,
knew what I was
we had
talking about.
Parisian winning 50K on the main card a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd have to look this up, but I'd be curious how. And I know Parisian won a few weeks ago, and that's the first thing we're talking about here. But whatever. Um, I'd be curious how many guys win a bonus and then don't get re-signed by the company. But I have to think he's might be the first one because I'm not sure he's going to get a new contract. But yeah, we got Vandera and Chase Sherman on the main card this week. But the rest of the main card is interesting, I guess.
Yeah, it's up and down, to be honest with you. I think there's a couple prelim fights that they could have put on the main card to promote them, especially the opening fight. Like that to me, opening the card. Not a lot of people are going to see that, and
Yeah,
it's a
I
fight that
agree.
you should be seeing.
Yeah, and MMA wagers dropping this early. Happy Independence Day here in America from the Canadian. Thank you, Brandon. So yeah, we're gonna start trying to do the UFCs a little bit earlier in the week. I do a lot of breakdowns, and they're all important to me. But the UFC ones typically, once we get the tape done, are pretty straightforward to be able to break down for Lewis and I. And it also just kind of makes sense to give the video a little more a chance for people to see, as opposed to by the end of the week after they've seen 4 or 5 UFC breakdowns coming here. I don't watch any other UFC breakdowns regardless. So like I was putting it out later in the week originally because of the pandemic. Because early in the pandemic, there'd be 4 or 5 card changes the week of every week. It felt like so. I was like, I'm not doing this till Wednesday or Thursday. Now that spot's for PFL because PFL is officially just can't rely on it till the end of the week. And so yeah, we're gonna try to go on Monday or Tuesdays for the most part, leading forward, hopefully. So, but yeah, it's a good card. We got 12 fights. We're back at the Apex here, so no fans, or not many fans at least. I mean, they put as many people as they can, so a couple hundred maybe. But either way, should be an interesting card. Really good poster, so I'll give them credit there. And
It's like Hellboy, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm kind of disappointed they didn't, get more behind the bell of the Rafaels here, but they do have the red and the poster there. So yeah, we got 12. We got what 12 fights on the card currently. Definitely have had some decent pullouts of this one. Austin Lingo and Dave Onama about 5 minutes after you posted your video, Lewis. So I'm gonna blame you for that one. But honestly, I think this might be my fight of the night. I don't have my whiteboard to keep track of timestamps, but we'll keep track of them right here. But this might be my fight of the night at bantamweight. At bantamweight, that's the first thing that we're going to have to wonder about because both these guys missed weight the last time they fought, which was over a year ago about for both of them. So was excited about both these guys, especially Ryan the Heat Lawrence coming off of the Contender Series. He looked really good against Jose Johnson. That was a brutal upset there. I think he was like plus 400 or something for that fight against Jose Johnson. I mean, Jose Johnson was coming off a huge knockout, and then Sayed Yukab fought Umar Nurmagomedov on PFL. That's where I knew him from. Pretty much got shut out in that fight, but it's Umar. 26 years old. He is Team Oyama, and then made his debut on super short notice against Trevin Jones. They had a very good fight. Honestly, Trevin Jones looked like the guy who was on short notice in that fight, though. Really inactive, gassed out. I mean, Trevin Jones even had full mount at the end of the second round of
Yeah.
that fight, and he still lost the round. Like I mean, full mount, raining down kind of punches, but you could see his arms were filled up with lactic acid. You could
Yeah, and he
see,
lost control, didn't he? Just from being a bit too wild with it.
yeah. And then, yeah, speaking of huffing and puffing, Duplessis, huff and puffed his way to that decision. That was, I mean, that I don't want to get too off track here, but Tavares is done. He's washed.
Mate, Duplessis is. I love that guy.
Yeah, but so
love him.
beatable, especially there. To lose the last 2 rounds to Duplessis in his condition that he was in is kind of inexcusable.
Just shows the damage he was doing with each shot, doesn't it?
Well, and it
Tavares
shows that
has 15
Tavares will
minutes
not
for
wrestle.
days.
Tavares will not wrestle. Tavares
Yeah,
will not wrestle.
You got to credit Drukas. Got to credit him.
Yeah. I just am looking forward to fading him in the future, if I'm honest. But back to this fight. Said Yukab, very, very exciting. Hard hitter for sure. He definitely favors that guillotine, and I do think that could be both the hitting and the guillotine could come into effect here for Said. And sorry, I don't have my ad blocker up yet, so we are getting Game of Thrones. But Ronnie Lawrence here, definitely in and out karate style striker, 30 years old, but also the wrestling. That's where you go for. And oh yeah, we all knew better on Strickland. Don't get me started on Strickland. I'm embarrassed. One of my worst picks of the
Easy
year.
pick. Easy pick.
One of my worst picks of the year. Yeah, I wanted to be the one saying easy pick with my submission bet. I was wrong. But Ronnie Lawrence here, he's going to wrestle in this fight. I can guarantee that. He's going to get top position, and he gets pretty comfortable in that top position. There were moments, especially in the third round, once he got tired against Mana Martinez, that made me very nervous, even with his wrestling. He was leaving himself in spots to really potentially get choked out, get submitted. I think Said Yukab is not going to be looking to do anything from the bottom, but I could see him fishing for that guillotine. Could get him into trouble also. I honestly am betting that and hoping that Ronnie has really taken this time off to get kind of, better. He's going on 5 months since his last fight. I believe that the cardio had to be the main focus of his entire improvement at this point because everything else is really good out of Ronnie Lawrence. And it's just, I've seen him get hurt in spots, and he really does go into that instinctual wrestling. And I think that could happen in this spot. I think this is a really good fight. Said Yukab is no joke. He's been there with really good competition. He's been off for a very long time as well. Timo Yama, I do rate very highly. I think this is going to be a good fight. I'm interested to see how both guys look at weigh-ins for sure. But for me, it's Ronnie Lawrence, and I got Ronnie Lawrence by decision.
100% agree. I think the top pressure is the game plan for Ronnie.
Yeah.
As you say, he will get a takedown. There's no doubt in my mind he'll get a takedown. It's just whether he can stop almost just getting cracked with a knee up the middle. Said's,
or if he tires out in the third round, leaves his head somewhere.
Yeah, I don't rate Said's gas tank crazy. It's nothing like that's going to exploit Ronnie Lawrence in that way.
Well, it was a third round finish he got against
Trevin. Yeah.
That guillotine.
But that was just because Trevin was just done.
So could Ronnie, though. If Ronnie does make the weight, Ronnie missed weight by 4 pounds last time.
That is true. So
again,
that's more. I think that's more of a question then, based on the actual maybe analytics of the fight is if he makes weight, what shape is he in to do to push the 15 minutes? On paper, Ronnie Lawrence has more than enough to beat someone like Said Yukab.
That's what I'm saying.
Personally, anyway, I think Said has one game plan. When it doesn't work, he loses. He can't adapt, whereas Ronnie has shown that he can adapt. He's very good on his feet, very underrated. But the grappling is where it's at. It's not just a grappler where he's going to hold you either. He looks for damage, doesn't look to pass. Remember how you remember Shane Carwin? He used to sit in half guard and just rain a heavy shot. I'm not saying Ronnie Lawrence is a Shane Carwin, but he does a similar thing. A Randy Couture, he just sits in half guard, holds one wrist and hits you. that's where you're going to do the damage and win the rounds. And Ronnie Lawrence is really good at winning a round. So even if he gasses, I don't think he's going to get finished. And I think he'd bank at least 2 rounds. So for me, I do think it's Ronnie Lawrence.
Yeah, I love this spot. It's not often the first fight of the night I'm looking to dive in too deeply, but when you see Ronnie Lawrence at a -125,
that's not bad. That's not bad.
I think I do think that he's better than a pick'em here. I like the experience Ronnie's had so far, and I mean, it's just all about, can you make weight? And I mean, I don't want to. This might be kind of concerning to say, but I think if he misses weight, it's probably gonna be a withdrawal from the fight type of miss weight, like he's done before. So when he misses weight, he misses weight badly to where it's either 4 to 5 pounds, and then his opponent can make a decision: do I want to fight a guy who's up half a weight class, or he has to withdraw because clearly 135 is tough for him to get down to. 145, he's just got no chance at his frame. He has to be at 135. So, I mean, that's the only question here. But -125, I'm getting behind that here. Plus 105 on Said Yukub. I could see Said keep trending towards being a favorite too. You might be able to sneak Ronnie in as an underdog, but I'm going to take him at -125. I think that's more than fair here. Should be a really good fight though. And don't really understand why it's leading off the fight card, but it is what it is.
You'd think it'd be a featured fight, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you really, maybe they're punishing him for inactivity and not making weight. I don't know if the UFC really thinks about it that hard, but I sure do sometimes. Unfortunately, next fight is a really good stand-up war here, I would think. Although sometimes Karl Roberson in these spots really likes to go to his grappling, which would be an interesting route. But we've got Kennedy Nzechukwu versus Karl Roberson in what I believe is going to be a pretty good stand-up fight here between both these guys. 9-5 versus 9-3. 31 years old versus 30. Kennedy is 30 years old now. I always think he's younger, but Karl Baby K Roberson 9-5. So definitely ups and downs. 3 straight losses for him coming into this fight. Coming to Vittori and Allen by submission in the first round, and then got finished pretty brutally by Khalil Roundtree in round 2. So
that was the body kick, wasn't it, while he was on the ground?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was a pretty brutal body.
Was I right? You picked Karl and I picked Khalil for that one.
Yeah, I did pick Karl. I remember advising people to go with Karl in that spot. So the last 3 wins for Karl Roberson. Jack Marshman by decision, a split against Wellington Turman, and then finished Roman Kopylov by 3rd round exhaustion. It was a rear naked choke, but Roman Kopylov was exhausted. For me, my days of trusting Karl Roberson are behind me. I just cannot trust the guy at this point. I think that he is unsure of his game plan. I'm unsure of his game plan in a lot of these spots. I think he's going to have difficulty with the reach of Kennedy. I think this is going to be a spot where Karl looks to wrestle. Kennedy's very difficult to take down just by way of his frame. He just
has a 9-inch reach advantage, by the way.
Right, and that doesn't include, and on the legs, he's going to just tripod out when he goes to take him down. He's not going to be able to get him down just by frame. And Fortis is a good enough camp here. For me, Kennedy takes this one all day long. I get it that he's coming in of 2 losses to Daun Young, who I rate very highly. And then the split against Nick Negromanu. Nick Negromanu is he's not great anywhere, yet he makes the fights kind of dirty. And getting to a split against him, I don't love it, but I don't hate on it either necessarily. Love how he looked against Carlos Ulberg. Carlos Ulberg just coming off a big win. Danilo Marquez, the 3rd round finish. He has a few 3rd round finishes. He does kind of keep a constant pace throughout here. For me, I just think Karl is going to have way too much of a difficulty touching him on the feet, and his grappling isn't good enough to get it there. So Kennedy takes this one. Probably finishes him because Karl just gets finished in every fight. I'll take a TKO 2nd or 3rd round.
Yeah, he's never lost a fight by decision. So You are
Yeah,
right. Every time he
exactly.
loses,
Yeah,
he does get finished. Yeah, I think Kennedy's reach is going to be the major problem here. 9 inches is absolutely ridiculous, and he knows how to use it. He was winning that the Nick Negramani fight. Nick came back, remember, pushed a hard pace and just kind of
yeah,
outworked him with volume. It was a very
absolutely.
close fight, but he's got the gas tank for 3 rounds where he can put it on you, and I don't think Carl Robertson is worthy of a UFC spot, to be honest with you.
I agree. I think Kennedy is for sure, but yeah,
Yeah,
Carl.
I think he is that bracket of the opening
Just
UFC guys. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, this fight makes sense as
I
down
think
here. It
Carl
should be
Robertson would be very competitive on a regional scene. I think Kennedy would light everyone up on a regional scene. So
yeah, I agree.
close one.
Kennedy is currently a slight underdog. You can find him on some sites at -105, mostly a pick 'em on others here. So that to me, Kennedy's the spot here. I do not mind if you're doing a Kennedy Ronnie Lawrence little quick double parlay to start out the night with those money lines, because those are both very generous, especially uh I think both, honestly, but particularly Ronnie Lawrence. But yeah, should be interesting fight to start out. Next fight, this fight I get being down here. So I
This
guess
fight
the
should have
new thing,
opened the card, mate.
yeah, this fight I get being on a prelim and being down this low. I agree. Kennedy or Cody Brundage, sorry, not Kennedy Brundage. Cody Brundage, sorry, trying to do too much at once here. Taking on Trishan Gordon, the tough runner-up who got a contract, I guess, for some reason. I'm gonna keep this one kind of short because I don't think it's a great fight. Not sure either one of these guys necessarily belongs in here, but at least Cody showed me from that Dalcha fight that he has the IQ and wherewithal to take this fight to where he needs to take it. Trishan Gordon, very one-dimensional. He's looking to get in there and try to take your head off with the strikes. If you take him down, you're going to be able to keep him down. You're going to tear him out. Cody working 9 to 5, coming out to Dolly Parton. He's going to take him down multiple times each round, tire him out. Decision, Cody Brundage, or maybe submits him, but probably just a decision. I'm not, but Cody Cody's just rinse and repeat wrestling. Like, this is not even close to me.
Yeah,
Maybe I look stupid.
No. Well, what Gore showed against Brian last time out is that he just stands there, barely threw a punch.
Right.
Like he's got knockout power, but 99% of the athletes do. I just don't know why he's in the UFC. He's not proven at any level. It was just he was a runner-up
on a low quality season.
on the lowest quality season I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
At least Cody Brundage went to the decision with Nick Maximov, Like, if you put Nick Maximov against Trajan Gore, what would happen? He'd just take him down, strangle him very quickly. It's all these sort of things. And against Dalcha, he did show he's dynamic enough to improvise on the spot. So, I think Cody Brundage just takes him down and submits him pretty quick.
Yeah, and I'm just saying now, bet this early in the week because Cody Brundage is still an underdog right now.
Yeah, unless Mr. Vicious, the guy he's never knocked anyone out, has he?
Who?
Mr. Vicious there, Trajan Gore. Has he ever?
Oh, that's his nickname. Sorry.
Yeah, his name is Mr. Vicious.
Mr. Vicious.
Has he ever knocked anyone out?
He had one knockout of Gilbert Urbina. He has
an exhibition, so it's not even.
Knocked out Gilbert Urbina on the, and then he choked out Christian Eccles. He has a split decision of Prince Ellerby, who had a 0-0 record, and a doctor's stoppage. Those in 2018. He's fought Ryder Newman as well on the Ultimate Fighter, and he's a favorite against Cody Brundage here. Bet Cody Brundage as an underdog.
I think they got that line wrong.
Yeah, they had this line wrong. Coming off of a fight with Nick Maximov, I get it, but honestly, with Dalcha, I mean, where he put him away in the first round. I mean, he didn't even have to rely on gassing out Dalcha here. So honestly, maybe Cody does get the finish, but Cody as an underdog here makes no sense. So,
I'm surprised at that.
Yeah. So, that's definitely, I think, a spot.
I picked Cody Brundage over Brian Battle as well. So,
yeah, I mean, they fight in different weight classes now. Brian Battle is busy calling out Ian Gary for some reason all the time.
I'd get his head kicked off.
I would love to see it. Whoops, did I say that? Anyways, we're gonna move on to the next fight here. This fight also should be a pretty quick breakdown. Antonina, not Shevchenko, but has the Shevchenko name, taking on Courtney Casey. I'm not gonna go through these ladies' records. We're gonna just stay here. 9-4, 10-9. Courtney Casey, 35, 37-year-old Antonina Shevchenko. I just don't know what to really say about this fight. I think it's going to be a low level, kind of on the feet kickboxing fight, and those are the fights that Antonina wins. I don't think Courtney Casey has the wrestling or jiu-jitsu to get this fight to the ground and make that any sort of a game plan to win. I don't know how motivated Courtney Casey is at this point, really. I just think this is a weird fight. Pass. But yeah, I'll take, you know, I guess bet the dog if you're going to bet, which would be Courtney Casey, I'd assume, since Shevchenko has a Shevchenko name. Antonina, yeah, minus 165. I mean, do you have any thoughts on this fight? I don't even want to make a pick.
These Antonina's fights always hurt me because my favorite fighter is Valentina.
Yeah.
So it's just there, like, you've got the ugly stepsister as, as the sidekick here, and she's got no grappling at all. Courtney Casey's got very little grappling, but I don't know. She's just tough. It's a tough lady versus a decent kickboxer.
Yeah,
but she's got no chin. She's got no. I don't know. It's just.
Yeah, I'm taking Antonina by decision.
Yeah, I mean, my pick is Antonina, but I wouldn't put anything on it.
Yep. All right, we're gonna move on here. Hopefully,
no contest. Courtney Casey headbutt.
So that fight, I get being down there. So if those 4 fights, you're going to have Ronnie Lawrence and Said Kakramanov lead off those 4 fights. Okay. Next, at bantamweight, this is a fight I could see a disagreement on. Let's see. Ayman Zahabi, we got another sibling. All the siblings should fight on this card. If you have a sibling who's more talented or famous than you, get on this card. So wherever Dan Lozon is, you're in. Ayman Zahabi taking on Ricky Tercios here at 135. This is a pretty interesting fight, actually. Pretty Ricky. I have enjoyed watching the tape I have on him. It says he's on Team Alpha Male right now. Not sure if that's accurate. 29 years old, 5'9", 72-inch reach for the tough Ultimate Fighter winner at bantamweight. Beat Brady Highstand in a very, very interesting fight. Very good fight by split. Brady is not a bad fighter at all. I think he could eventually make his way to the UFC. But good fight. Beat Dan Arguda. Definitely the fight in Ludwig Shaolinian. So definitely very good wins on the Ultimate Fighter. Obviously in not the most natural of environments, but still. Good wins. His losses coming to 2 very good strikers in Boston Salmon and Mano Martinez. Mano Martinez put him away, actually. Definitely for Tercios, not the most technical guy, but gets in there, he scraps. I think he's going to be coming into this fight and really improve since the Ultimate Fighter back in August when he fought last. So nearly a year off. I think that some technical improvements with kind of his heart, his, pressure, his will, I think could really, be interesting here. And definitely, I think he's got a good opponent here in Ayman Zahabi. 34 years old now, a TriStar, coming off that big win over a year ago in February of last year over Draco Rodriguez. Draco Rodriguez has been cut from the UFC. I think he fought like 2 more times with the UFC since Zahabi, that fight where he lost both of them. But I mean, Draco got dropped by like 1 right hand in that fight. Draco was winning that fight until then. But Draco looked very nervous, very tense, everything. I wasn't that impressed by Zahabi, I'll be honest. And I have not been impressed by Zahabi. What Vince Morales did to him was ridiculous. He just poured it on and made Vince Morales look like a superstar, frankly. Obviously, Ricardo Ramos was able to embarrass him in that fight. It was a good fight up until then, but I really think the Ramos fight has, taken a lot of Zahabi. I think we could really see Ricky Tercios come into this fight and, put on a good performance and kind of ignite a little bit of a star run as an Ultimate Fighter winner. I know that doesn't mean a lot at this point, but still, I think that he could be the exciting winner from that season if he comes in here against Zahabi. Zahabi leaves a lot of openings to have your offense come in. Tercio, not the more technical guy, but he wants it more. He's going to be hungrier. He's going to put a pressure and a pace on Zahabi. And I think unless Zahabi's able to catch a counter and put him away that way again, kind of, I think that Tercios takes this one. I'll take Tercios by decision.
Yeah, I've never ever been impressed with Zahabi. I love Tristan a bit, so I love Faras, but like he just can't. His body can't do what his mind wants. It's not quick enough. He hasn't got the technical ability to, take instruction of what Faras wants to do. But no, I think Ricky. Do you know what he reminds me of? He reminds me of Brandon Moreno on that season of Ultimate Fighter, where he completely under the radar, didn't win it, still got a contract, and then climbed in a different way. No, I really like him, to be honest. I think Heisted is a better win than Draco Rodriguez because Rodriguez just looked like he had Weetabix as a chin, or I don't know what the equivalent is for you. A horrible hard cereal as a chin.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't see how Zahabi wins other than countering off the back foot because I don't think he's got the power to knock someone like Tercius out. I don't think he's got the volume to put pressure on him. I think Tercius has the volume and the pressure.
I don't think that he has the hunger to be a fighter, really. That's why you see him take a year and a half off between fights, and now he's 34.
Yeah, I mean, he took a couple of years off for the Ramos fight, didn't he? Because of the concussion. He got seriously concussed in that fight.
I mean, if you have to take a couple of years off in your 30s from a KO.
Yeah. Yeah, that was on, what was it? It was on the Bisping card, wasn't it? When Bisping fought St. Pierre.
Yeah, it was a brutal KO. And I mean, Tercios throws a lot of spinning shit too. Yeah. And we said last week that Jessica Rose Clark was not going to get armbarred again. And what happened in 46 seconds?
I went on it. I dislike Jessica Rose Clark so much. I'm making you making money off Till is me making money off Rose Clark.
Yeah, well, that's the last time. Because now Jessica Rose Clark wants a rematch against Eggers and against Stolyarenko.
They'll get our other arms, yeah.
It's like just a few adjustments to my game.
What do you call it? Wolf tickets? Isn't that you're saying?
She is Wolf tickets, yeah. Well, it's originally, I believe Nick Diaz had that. But yeah, I've definitely carried on that. Ricky Tercios here. Really good price originally, but definitely has gone up. Originally at minus 170. He's now at minus 190.
He's also fighting very frequently right now, which is good. Not getting damaged. Competition. I like him a lot here.
Yeah, I do too. I do think the price is accurate as well. Next fight, the featured prelim here. What an interesting prelims here. We have the return of Nina Nunes here, taking on Cynthia Calvillo. I don't like Cynthia Calvillo. I don't rate Cynthia Calvillo. I just don't. For me, Nina Nunes loses to a really high level of competition, and otherwise she fights everybody pretty well. But she's 10-7. She's 36 years old, 5'5", 64-inch reach, American top team allegedly, but at this point, I don't think she's really trained there. Kind of training with Amanda's team. She's lost 2 straight, hasn't fought since April of last year, was supposed to fight Amanda Lemos back in December, had to pull out of that fight. She does very well against, kind of these average to slightly above average grapplers, of keeping it in her kind of wheelhouse of striking. She has good leg kicks. Once her kind of rhythm gets going, striking wise, I think she could really keep a pace that Cynthia Calvillo is going to struggle with. And Cynthia Calvillo, very plotting. And if she can't get a hold of you and get you down to the ground, she's going to, that's the whole question in this fight. I'll be honest, I'm not betting anything on Nunes or Cynthia Calvillo. So for me, I rate Nunes's overall abilities a little bit better here. I'm not reading Justin's comment out loud. But yeah, I do rate Nunes's abilities to kind of keep it on the feet here. I think it's going to look a lot like the Claudio Gadea fight, a lot like the Randa Marcos fight, where you're just seeing kind of a grappler who's struggling to get it to the floor. And I just don't rate Cynthia Calvillo at all. The way she quit against Andrea Lee was telling as all. I mean, it's just, yeah, like I'm just less than impressed by her. I don't think she wants to be in here anymore. Kaylin Chikagian, Jessica Andrade, I get it. Good fighters before that, but yeah, I'll take Nunes to win a decision. I'm not betting $1 on it.
Yeah, it's a 36-year-old v a 34-year-old. Nina's 4-4 in the UFC. I don't rate either woman. I think Cynthia, is slightly better. That's all. I do think she's a better fighter, but Nina Nunes just hasn't done anything for like nearly 5 years since she beat Gadea. 4.5 years. So I don't know why Nina's fighting. To be honest with you, I don't get it. I don't get it at this stage where they're clearly not going to win any titles. This is the best chance for a win both girls have. So for me, it's definitely a pass.
Yeah.
Don't bet a thing on this fight because who knows? It's going to be a stalemate, in my opinion. Right. And I'm going Cynthia just because I think she's slightly better. But yeah, Andrea Lee would knock Nina Nunes out. So
yeah,
it
wasn't. Here's the thing, though. Cynthia Calvillo didn't get knocked out against Andrea Lee. She just quit
because she was smarter than that.
she just was like, I don't want to be in here.
Yeah, but I don't think Nina Nunes could do that to somebody, especially Cynthia. I don't think
Nina Nunes would just quit.
No, she'll get knocked out and concussed and brain damaged.
So Cynthia Calvillo is not going to do that. Cynthia Calvillo isn't knocking out anybody.
No, but she could grapple.
So that's my point.
She could definitely grapple her.
I think one of these fighters still is motivated. The other thing here is that Nunes is training with a champion or a former champion trying to get her belt back. I do think Nunes is training. Both Nuneses are training hard. So at least she has a state-of-the-art training camp. That's it. Plus 120 on Nunes, minus 140 on Cynthia Calvillo.
Pass.
I mean, just pass. There's nothing here to get for anybody. Yeah. We talked about them enough. Moving on. God, I love them. All right. Next fight.
This is my fight of the night now. This
is a fascinating fight. Here we've got a bunch of Malarkey and Jamie, the Jamie edition of Jamie Malarkey, taking on is this the last time? Is this the final?
Nope.
No, he's
not going. A chance.
Michael Johnson coming off of a win, by the way. Oh boy. Now 36 years old for the Boca Raton Kill Cliff FC fighter, 5'10" versus 6 foot. Same reach though, because Michael Johnson has that long reach. Michael Johnson on his way to that 500 record, 20-17. But we're going to start with Jamie Malarkey here, 14-5, coming off a real tough fight against Jalen Turner. He did make it to the second round, so did better than Brad Riddell. But sheesh, that was a rough knockout, and that was only 4 months ago. That's my main concern coming into this fight against a very hard hitter in Michael Johnson. He still can hit hard. The power is the last thing that's going to go. Malarkey's wins coming against good strikers who get early finishes, but I would not describe them as powerful strikers in Kama Worthy and Devontae Smith. They're precise. They can hit hard, but they're not power strikers. Look at Michael Johnson. I get that's 700 years ago against Jonathan Brookins, I believe an Ultimate Fighter winner. But look at the arms and look at the power. And that's what Michael Johnson will have till he gets cut from the UFC. 5'10", 73.5-inch reach. Similar reaches here. Jamie Malarkey, a big guy at 155. Coming off that win against Alan Patrick, got the second round finish. Before that was on a 4-fight losing streak, including to Stevie Ray in there, Clay Guida. Not.
That's
great.
The only bad one in my opinion is the Clay fight.
Yeah, especially
Moises is the up and comer. Stevie Ray just twisted Anthony Pettis. Emmett is Emmett. I mean, everyone's going to lose.
Yeah.
Andre Feely's a good win. Elkins is a beast. Gaethje's a beast. Khabib's a beast.
So I'm going to ask you right now,
Yeah.
because this is definitely, I feel, one of the fights that a lot of people are getting behind Malarkey way too heavily on. For me, I do question Malarkey's ability to take a shot so quickly after the way he was damaged and then put away by Jalen Turner. That's what Jalen Turner didn't put him away in 30 seconds, and like they were like, "Oh, stop the." He took a lot of damage, and Michael Johnson, I think, in all those fights when I went back and watched him, has a moment where he lands serious damage. He won 2 rounds against Josh Emmett. He was, and I get that fight was a long time ago, so like I'm gonna kind of throw that out. I think that my kind of point is I think this looks kind of similar to the Stevie Ray fight, which was very, very, very competitive. And when it's competitive, and for me, one guy has a way better chance of finishing than the other guy, it gets me kind of thinking. I am potentially leaning towards Michael Johnson, but I'm interested to hear your kind of thoughts. This is one I'm not sure on, though. Definitely not lining up to be behind Malarkey.
It's interesting because the last fight against Alan Patrick makes you question it, don't you? Because it was such a devastating quick left hook and then straight right over
in the
top,
second round,
and then 4 or 5 shots on the ground. The thing with Michael Johnson is he's just so one-dimensional. Doesn't throw leg kicks. Sometimes at the end of a combination, doesn't use his excellent wrestling. Doesn't defensively use it at all either. Just gives up and gets taken down.
Right.
You only have to watch out for his hand speed and his boxing. That's it. So Malarkey's got a really easy game plan, but thinking about his hand speed and his boxing is what everyone gets hit by. Everyone gets hit by it. He rocked Emmett. He rocked Ray, Moises, hurt Guida. Like, I'm counting Artem Lobov, don't count. That's not a fight. But like, he's hurt. Khabib's only fault in his whole career is that one right hand from Michael Johnson, which you went.
The closest Khabib came to losing was Gleison Tebow and Michael Johnson.
Yeah, exactly. And then Michael Johnson went for it. He just makes stupid mistakes, though, and I can't rely on that. He hurt Khabib with a right hand. So what does he do? He grabs his leg.
Can you really rely on Malarkey? How good is Malarkey?
Malarkey is an excellent scrambler, has great ground control, excellent neck attacks, hits hard, elbows dirty. He's going to put his head on his chest and just. He's a big dude, man. I know before his UFC days, it's regional and stuff, but in his Superfight MMA days, he's a savage. He's so.
And I also don't want to like overreact too much to finishing Alan Patrick in 2022.
Yeah, go back to watch Malarkey's debut in the UFC. He fought Brad Riddell.
Right,
Brad Riddell was a world-class kickboxer, and Malarkey stood and traded with him and hurt Riddell multiple times. He has got a chin. Jalen Turner just evolved, I think, in that fight. He just never looked better. And you get those guys that just find that next level. And I think that's it. I mean, Devontae Smith, the only annoying thing is Devontae Smith and Khama Worthy aren't incredible. But what does he do with those non-incredible guys? He finished them. So that he did, that's what's good. He's riding momentum. Yes, he got hurt a little bit, but I just feel like Michael Johnson's he's gonna crack Jamie Malarkey. 100% he's gonna crack him. But I think Malarkey can take it, and then there's going to be a stupid mistake from Michael, and just the rest is history. Malarkey's going to grab a neck and Darce choke him or something. I am on Jamie Malarkey. I just think Michael's too one-dimensional.
I'm on Jamie Malarkey as well. I'm on by decision. I hate the price of -250.
Yeah, I mean, it's just people are looking at the L's of Michael, but what he showed, he's still got the footwork, he's still got the hand speed.
The way that Jalen Turner put him away, he should have been out for 8 months. He's coming back in 4.
Yeah,
this is something I brought up before, and it's really worked against fighters or for fighters. Taking time off matters when you've taken type of shots, and then he's not going against a grappler here. He's going against a guy who, the first shot he might have been able to take 4 months from now, and so that's the unknown. These are why a -250 Malarkey is not worth it for me. If this is 4 months from now, I totally agree with the price. I just think he's rushing back, and
I still think he's just, when one guy is one way to win and Malarkey could do it the same way or 4 others.
No, I agree, but I'm just saying that you said yourself he's going to catch him at some point. That makes me nervous. If I still think he's got a chin, he only needs to catch him one time. And Michael Johnson only needs to catch a lot of people on the roster one time, and so that's all I'm saying. So I just feel like when I have that many problems or questions, I'm not betting someone near a -300. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, he can't get carried away. Both guys can't get carried away.
Yeah, exactly.
Both guys could end the fight any second. Yeah.
Yep, I agree. Next fight at heavyweight here, Jared Vanderaa versus Chase Sherman. I'm never going to pick Chase Sherman against anybody, including Alan Boudreaux. I got Jared Vanderaa here. If you want to put him in your parlays, Godspeed. But there's just how does Jared Vanderaa lose this fight? He's just gonna get on top of him, try to forearm choke him, or some ground and pound. Either way, Jared Vanderaa makes him quit by round 2, I would assume, or just lays on for. But Chase Sherman's not winning.
Yeah, I mean, we don't need to go. All I want to bring up is that you picked Vanderaa against Olenek, and I told you you're crazy. So
I know I did. And then afterwards, he's getting a damn tutorial on how to do an Ezekiel choke.
And he's going to do an Ezekiel's choke on Chase Sherman.
I would love to see it. And
let Chase Sherman mount him.
Yeah. Really? I'm looking at this main card, man. What the hell is this main card, UFC?
It's mad, isn't it? We're both on Vanderaa as well. So, yeah.
What is this? Like, this is absolutely ludicrous. I'm excited every week for the fights, but we got Chase Sherman and Jared Vanderaa on a main card. And Jared Vanderaa, by the way, is a -1. What is it? -180 now? -190 favorite, +155 on Sherman. If you're betting that, good luck. That's all I got to say. You must be loaded and a degenerate because you should not bet either one of those men, even when they're fighting each other. This shouldn't be in the PFL tournament. Jared Vanderaa and Sherman shouldn't be in there. And at this point, I've said enough about PFL. I really used to love PFL. Anyways, next fight here. We're really improving a lot. We got Jamie Pickett, mainstay on co-main event, co-main event, top of the card. He's on another top of the card here after coming off a loss to Kyle Dawkins. Kyle Dawkins got shipped to the first or second prelim of the night where he lost, so he didn't prove it. But we have Jamie Pickett losing, getting shipped down 1 to the third from the top. The take on, I had to shake my head a couple times. Dennis Tululin getting a second shot here in the UFC.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, 10-6, 34 years old. Very average everywhere. Jamie Pickett, these are the guys Jamie Pickett has shined on, the Jonathan Pattis of the world. This is a complete easy spot here for Jamie Pickett. He is way more athletic. He's bigger. He's stronger. He's faster. He's no world beater, but he beats guys like Dennis Tululin. That's his whole resume. Jamie Pickett's going to go in there, and I think Jamie Pickett gets a finish. I think he ends at some point in the first 2 rounds. Dennis Tululin is terrible.
How do you think he does it? Do you think he knocks him out?
Strikes, yeah. Just so much faster in the strikes. I think he's
got a few inches on reach as well. Pickett,
bigger reach, yeah.
And
saying, I hope Pickett gets knocked out. Such a boring fighter. I mean, it's fair enough. I don't mind Pickett, honestly. I actually do.
I think there's more boring fighters out there.
Yeah, I think there's way worse.
Chase Sherman, Vanderaa,
yeah. Tululin in his topology looks like a micro crow cop. He doesn't fight like a micro crow cop. Dennis Tululin is bad as they come. Dennis Tululin reminds me of. Do you remember Bobby Volker from? That's who. When he got into UFC and they put him against Robbie Lawler.
Yeah.
And then, just every time he showed up, you're just like, why is Bobby Volker still in the UFC? Why is Dennis Tululin ever?
He's the new Harry Hunsucker.
He's horrible. Him versus Harry Hunsucker at 205. I'm taking Harry. I don't think there's anybody on the roster I'm taking Dennis Tululin over.
Oh God, yeah, I'm with you. As soon as I saw Tululin pop up,
he's bad. He's old. He's slow.
It was meant to be. It was meant to be Al Hassan.
He looks like he's 46. He's 36. But Dennis, if you're watching, sorry.
I mean, yeah, it was meant to be Al Hassan, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah,
which would have been a fantastic.
I would have picked Al Hassan.
I would pick Jamie Pickett.
Okay, so
here's the thing about Jamie Pickett. In all seriousness, his number one tool and number one, thing that he has is his cardio. That is his number one weapon. Dennis Tululin has no cardio. He gets tired after 3 minutes, no matter what happens.
Yeah.
Like Jamie Pickett should be a minus 400 here. He is.
I would never put Jamie Pickett as a minus 400 against anybody, but
Dennis Tululin, I would. Minus 180 is yes, minus 180 is high on Pickett, but I'm putting Pickett in my parlay at minus 180. Sorry.
Okay. If you're putting it in a parlay, yeah.
I am.
mean, I'm
did-
on Pickett,
Pickett
but I
is
wouldn't
not
by say
losing.
a huge margin. I picked him against Dalkus, and he really let me down. He just had nothing to offer.
Yeah,
He just
I
couldn't
get
get
it.
going.
Yeah. Hey, I just got a new subscriber. Boya, shout out to you. You must really hate Dennis Tululin. Welcome. But yeah, I mean, I mean, I'd like Pickett inside the distance as well. If you're not wanting to parlay him, that would be my suggestion is inside the distance because I do think he has underrated grappling. And against a guy like Tululin, he could definitely exploit that. So I wouldn't
Don't
put
say
it
that. He got Dash choked last time out.
like Dawkins is a very good grappler. He, like Dawkins is very like just because he got
Not
kneed
convinced
to
anymore.
oblivion by Doludze, it doesn't cancel. Yeah, like honestly, I really like Pickett here. Yeah, John Lee, I got you on that parlay at the end. I got my 5-piece here.
Now for the best fight of the
you
card.
have Pickett as well by.
I got him by decision, but
Okay, all right.
I'm not convinced about anything on that card.
Real quick,
on
I
that
just
fight.
clicked on Dennis Tululin here. Let's see how many times he's made it to a decision in his losses. Let's count. 0, 0, 1, 2 splits. There we go. Could have been wins. So he's been to a decision twice. And that was many years ago. I just don't.
Who knows?
Yeah. Yep. Dennis Tululin. See you later. Oh, they're fourth from the top, not third from the top. So they demoted Jamie 2 for that loss.
This is my favorite fight. This is my favorite fight.
Another one of the best fights on the card.
Yeah.
Boy, Said Nurmagomedov coming off of that big win against Cody Stamann. Taking on one of my favorite guys in all of MMA. Definitely in this division, Douglas Da Silva de Andrade here. This is an awesome fight. I am super excited to see what happens in this one. For me, it's kind of simple here with Said. Don't even mess with stand-up at all. Just go in there and be a Nurmagomedov. Just go for the takedowns, work the grappling, work your jiu-jitsu. I do think that de Andrade has underrated defensive jiu-jitsu at times, but I do think he has shown that he can be controlled in the grappling. When you look to start to flirt with the stand-up and you start to mix it up and you let him get you a little bit tired, he keeps that power going throughout the fight. We saw it with the Morozov fight. We've seen it before. Douglas, I believe, 23 finishes in his 24 wins. Like the guy's ridiculous. He's a video game or 20. Let me just go to his record. 28.
He went to decision with Gibson, Vera, and Barao. I know.
Yeah. So yeah, he went to a decision in 3 of his wins. Otherwise, he is finishing his opponents most of the time by KO. Last time was his first submission win in his 24 finishes, I believe. So
if he didn't submit him, he would have ground and pounded him.
Yeah, it was a KO submission.
Yeah.
With Said here, he's that's obviously the worry. But I do think that he's stand up. It's developing. He's had 2 quick finishes in his last 2. Mark Striegel, he KO'd. Cody Stamann, he got that guillotine on. So for me, we saw we've seen the body kick finish, the striking finish against Ricardo Ramos here. I just think he is playing a dangerous game against a guy like Douglas Da Silva de Andrade if he gets into that. But I think he's going to be trading on the feet at points in this fight. And that's where I think Douglas can really take advantage. I think he's got a huge, huge speed advantage. I think he's got to be in and out. For me, he's just such a dog, man. He's such a dog, and I can't doubt him here, man. I'm gonna believe in my boy Douglas Da Silva de Andrade. This is, to me, an apple pie shitter of the night. I think a ton of people are going to be fully behind Nurmagomedov here. I just think that Douglas has the magic here. I think that he hits and puts away Said Nurmagomedov in round number 2. I get it's not the most technical reasoning.
No. Well, my only thing is Andrade gets hurt in every fight, like badly.
Yep.
And Said doesn't let people off the hook when they're hurt. I mean, he body shotted Ricardo Ramos with that left kick. I mean, it was beautiful. Like the way he's just dealing with people, and it's only 47 seconds or so, 46, I think maybe, against Cody Stamann. But Cody Stamann came into that fight so well prepared. He looked incredible physically. I thought that was a real pick and fight. I wrote Cody Stamann very highly. He toyed with him for 47 seconds, whatever it was. He hit him in the body. He turning side kicked, hook kicked, grappled him, tripped him, strangled him. I mean, it was flawless. The dude has leveled up again. And when he knocked out Mark Striegel as well, and you did those pinpoint accurate ground and pound shots, he's a shark. He smells blood. He finishes you. Against Barcelos, he just got too comfortable against a clinical striker, and he needed the learning curve. I think if he's losing a striking battle against Andrade, he's just going to grapple him. He will grapple him, and Andrade has not got elite level grappling. He's just decent. Morozov hurt him. Morozov is not a phenomenal striker, and he battered him from pillar to post in that first round. All I can think of to myself is this Saeed's just turning side kicking him he's going to finish him. But Saeed gets a bit too complacent, starts doing too many turning side kicks, starts spinning too many times with back fists. If you watch his fight against Ricardo Ramos on Scoggins and Nogueira,
he loves his striking. Saeed really believes in his striking.
Exactly, which is great until you get hit with an overhand right. I disagree completely in the speed. I think Saeed's got a major speed advantage. I think all the power is with Andrade because it's just looping over the top shots, really looping. So
I guess I'm more meant with his movement than striking speed.
Yeah, he moves beautifully, in and out, in and out, beautifully.
That's what I meant, not so much the striking speed.
Okay, but yeah, I mean, for an older dude, he's still got it.
Oh yeah, I don't care that he's 37. That's a 37 that I don't believe, and I don't care.
Just think he's in his prime now, and he's leveled up so much. You know, he took 2 years off to get so much better.
I just wish I wish he would have went a little longer in one of these fights, man. I don't think that fighting 2 minutes in the last.
I think this will go a couple rounds, but I do think Saeed's going to finish him.
Okay, fair enough. We're going to disagree. I think most people are going to be on.
But this is the best dog of them. This is the best one to, contemplate the whole night.
That's what I'm saying. Plus 230 on Douglas Da Silva.
He's beaten some good guys. He's good, man. He's good,
and he's won as a dog on multiple occasions.
But whenever he fights those guys that just have high volume, I mean, Lerone Murphy tore him to fucking pieces.
The Zubaira fight is the one that I go back to. The two guys.
Okay, yeah.
That's one where I think it could look a lot like that, where just the size and framing of the grappling is just too much for Andrade to get by.
Is this a step up in competition for Saeed as well, or against Cody, or is it similar level?
I mean, it's. I definitely think it's a step up, and it's just it's a totally different type of challenge in general.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he passed that with flying colors, but we've seen Cody Stamann just kind of have these moments with his grappling where he's completely slips. But Saeed minus 275. I'm not crazy about that at all. Obviously,
I think that's quite low for a Nurmagomedov. I know he's not related, but it's still one of those.
That is low for a Nurmagomedov. That's definitely true. But I think there's a reason. I'm excited to see that fight. On to the co-main event of the night.
The cheater.
I'm going to be honest here. I don't love either one of these guys.
I know why you don't like Arman, and it's not his fault. It's not his fault.
No, it's not his fault. But Arman lost to Gregory Rodriguez.
He did. He lost
in that fight. No doubt about it. He got outstruck by Gregory Rodriguez, and he's the one who was the glory kickboxer coming into the fight.
Got outstruck and banana split.
Outstruck and outgrappled here.
Yeah.
This is, I think, pretty straightforward for Kyle Berhalo here. Grapple up, grapple 20% more than Gregory Rodriguez did, you're going to win this fight by a decision or you're going to finish him by submission, in my opinion. I just think Arman is pretty one-dimensional. I think that, it's not easy for this guy at 6'2", and he's definitely built like a tank to make the 185 division. All respect to him. That last fight was a great fight, but he lost it to Gregory Rodriguez by split. And I do think he showed the holes in his game, particularly in the grappling. On the feet, he's got good power. He's very technical, but he's slow for the 185 division as well. Very slow, very plodding. Rahalo to me, definitely a strong jiu-jitsu guy. That's where he needs to take this fight. He doesn't need to trade on the feet a ton here with Arman. I do think that's where Arman can win the fight. But, you look at Brahalo, lost a decision to João Carvalho back in 2015. And I believe that, what was that? At welterweight. Years and years ago. Pretty, low level of competition before making it to the UFC. Won the Contender Series, beat Aaron Jeffrey, though, which I rate very highly. We saw Jeffrey on Bellator get that big finish of Aguilar.
It's where his career begins, isn't it, really, that first?
Definitely, yeah. But, he's really looked very good. Jesse Murray, terrible fighter, coming down from heavyweight. Put him away with strikes very, very quickly. The Godsey fight wasn't incredible.
Yeah. Well, he illegally hit him, didn't he? And got the win.
Yeah, exactly. But
close
either
fight.
way.
Both guys, prospects in their own right. So
yeah, very, very high level prospects, 13-0 and 10-1. I just think that Brahalo's game plan here is pretty straightforward. Grapple, and I do think that you can control Arman on the ground and get yourself a decision, get yourself a co-main event win as Kao, and maybe gets a submission, but I just think Kao for sure gets this.
Yeah, I just hate his bloody neck tattoo.
It's just terrible.
It's terrible. I'm saying that with really bad tattoos as well, but still. I'm actually going for the upset. I think Borrello, I think Cal Borrello's he's going to be too one-dimensional. If he gets him down, Arman's in trouble. But what Arman did show is he can get back up with someone as big as Rodriguez on him.
Yeah, and a jiu-jitsu black belt in Rodriguez.
Yeah, and he did not get finished. I know Borrello's incredible on the ground, but Arman has got extremely heavy hands. His body kicks and his switch high kick is so Borrello will not see it coming. And I think the power might do him in. He's got great cardio, went 3 rounds, he's tough as nails. And I think this is a really, really big test for both guys.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a tougher fight for Borrello, if I'm honest with you, because he's not fought anyone that can strike like this.
Okay.
So it's a close fight, but I like Arman. But I agree with you. He did lose his last fight, but
I agree 100%. It's a close fight.
Yeah,
I am 100% with you there, and that's why I look at these odds and I'm very confused. I picked Kyle. He's not a -200 favorite.
No, I don't think he should.
Plus 175 on Arman Petrosian here. That's the only play. Otherwise, you let this one go.
Arman. I might be kicking myself next week. When Borrello just runs through him, grabs him, strangles him. But I don't think it's going to be that.
We haven't seen that yet.
No, I don't think it's that simple.
Well,
I think he's going to eat some body shots.
If that happens, that's a huge props to Caro if he does that.
That's the level up. That's what he needs.
It lets you know if it worked out having the padded record to start out your career. But yeah, plus 175 on Arman. This is a pass for me. I wish that Arman didn't screw over my boy in the last one because then I'd consider betting him. But I won't be betting him. I'll tell you that much. I can be better at points, and I like to admit it when I am. On to the main event here. Very good, very, very good main event. So we go through some shit to get here, but we get to a main event that's way, way worth it here and going to tell us so much. And the battle of Rafaels, Rafael Dos Anjos versus Rafael Fiziev here. I'll break down Rafael Fiziev first. It was a pleasure to watch his fights today. Super fun fight tape study on him. Striking master now at Sanford MMA, former Tiger Muay Thai striking coach, though. Guy hasn't fought since December, and I like that. I am saying that as a positive because he's been very regular, 5'8", so he is definitely a smaller, more compact striker. 5 straight wins since the Mustayev spinning back kick that introduced him to everybody in the UFC. Since then, 2 decisions against Casey and White, and then he turned it on to another level in that Moicano fight, putting him away in that first round. The Bobby Green fight, very, very good fight, and one of those fights that is super necessary for a fighter as they move up in their career to kind of show they can get through some of that. But Bobby Green was looking good by the end of that fight. He was landing. He was tiring out. Fiziev dropped him nearly in the 3rd round at the end there. Some major concerns. And the other thing with that is it was 3 rounds, and there wasn't grappling involved there. You got to be kidding me if you don't think that Rafael Dos Anjos is going to be implementing major, major grappling in this fight. This is going to be a full MMA 5-round fight here for Dos Anjos with Fiziev, in my opinion. And that, to me, is the huge, huge difference. Brad Riddell, last time out, got that wheel kick finish, obviously, in the 3rd round there. It was a very good fight. And,
competitive fight.
Yeah, it was a very competitive fight as well. I think that he's taken a huge step up here to Rafael Dos Anjos in 5 rounds, too. 3 rounds, I'm edging even more towards Fiziev here. 5 rounds, I'm getting nervous here because we're gonna have to see how good Fiziev's defensive wrestling is, because I do think that Dos Anjos will be willing to trade at times. I think he'll do well there, but I do think he's going to work into grappling a lot in this fight. The Moicano fight got more competitive than it should have been. It was a short notice replacement. So I'm not gonna freak out about that.
Do you think he felt bad by the end of it?
What do you mean? Like
that 5th round, I think he took completely off. I think he felt bad. He was just the fight wasn't being stopped in the 4th.
And that's my point. That's how good Dos Anjos is. And this is the other thing: is 5 rounds against Felder. I get it was a split. 5 rounds. Go to the Chiesa fight. He was in a co-main event spot. Then Leon Edwards, 5 rounds, goes to a decision with Leon Edwards. You saw what he did against Kevin Lee in the 4th round, 5 rounds. Again, 5 rounds. Kamaru Usman, 5 rounds, 5 rounds, 5 rounds. And I get he's got losses here, but 5 rounds. He's got a ton of 5-round experience. You know he can go to 5 rounds. Fiziev slowing down after the 15 minutes gets me very, very nervous. For me, Dos Anjos has one thing he has to work against, which is striking at Fiziev. It's fantastic. He's very technical. He's very powerful, but he's short. He's a shorter guy for the division. Dos Anjos is a bigger guy for the division. I think Dos Anjos works a beautiful game plan and gets a decision. I really do. I think he's going to be striking at times. I think it's going to be a 3-2, 4-1 type of fight. I do think it's close early on. I think it widens as the cardio and pace of Dos Anjos comes on. I love Dos Anjos in this spot, and I like him by decision.
Yeah,
I think Fiziev can finish if somebody gets to finish Fiziev.
Okay. I don't think it's anyone's finishing anyone.
I don't either.
That's the first thing. I'm 51-49 on the pick I'm picking. And I'm picking Fiziev. Based off of his takedown defense is so underrated. It's so strong and elite. Dos Anjos' takedowns are decent. It's not so much wrestling, it's more body locks and trips than wrestling.
Yeah.
I don't see him getting that close to Fiziev without taking punishment on the way. I think he can definitely hurt Fiziev, and I think the longer the fight goes on, the more damage he will do. But where the fight's mainly going to take place, I think he's got such a disadvantage in just a striking bout. It's going to look like Leon Edwards versus RDA. Do you know what I mean? Just body kick after everything. That's Fiziev's game plan. I don't think the cardio, you're going to see RDA be the cardio machine he is, because what's the number one move Fiziev uses? The baseball bat body shots against Jacasey, Bobby Green, Riddell, even Alex White to a point. Moicano, I mean, before he sat him down with the left hook, it was the snap of that baseball bat hitting their ribs. I think he's going to be doing that to RDA. I think RDA is going to be wise to close him down, try and trip him to the ground. But if he can't, he's eating so many shots. He's not going to be the same RDA we saw against Moicano for sure. He was fresh as nails. Fresh as nails? That's not a thing. Fresh as flowers. Hard as nails, fresh as flowers. But he's going to be really tired. as well come that 4th, 5th. I think the main concern is Fiziev's gas tank. We haven't seen him
Yeah.
go with this, but he's been calling this fight out. He wants this test. That to me is a massive, massive plus. He's finished Moicano in the first. He finished Brad Riddell. Not many people. Who's finished Brad Riddell and Moicano?
Well, I
RDA
mean,
couldn't finish Moicano.
Jalen Turner finished.
Brad as well. Yeah, but afterwards, so it's the first one to crack him. So
Korean Zombie finished Moicano. A few guys have finished Moicano pretty hard too.
You just said some
pretty hard finishes of Moicano. Some guys.
Okay. Have. Zombie though is how highly rated. He's at the top.
I rate RDA higher than Korean Zombie.
Do you?
Yeah.
Yes. At this stage, I reckon they're similar. I reckon they're at the same stage.
No.
Really?
No, really?
They just fought for a belt.
Yeah, allegedly fought.
Allegedly fought. No, I put them at the same stage. This isn't the same RDA. Has been he got pieced up by Paul Felder.
I think Fiziev would kill Korean Zombie though.
So okay.
But that's a totally different
fight. At the time.
That's like totally different.
Yeah, totally different.
Yeah.
But I don't think RDA is going to be the same RDA you saw against Moicano. Moicano didn't have the gas tank because of short. I think a full camped Moicano would have won 2 rounds. That's my honest belief. I do not think this is the same RDA.
Oh, visceral, you handsome fuck.
But I still think Fiziev's going to do just enough to win it. I think it's going to be a tight-ass decision where people are going to be so...
I agree. I think it's going to be tight.
Yeah. It's a close fight, man. And that to me...
Haka Pasalia for subscribing. Appreciate it.
Boom. Raking them in.
Yeah, exactly. Just gotta make fun of Chase Sherman more.
Come Saturday, I'll probably pick RDA, knowing me. But I'm just like this. My needle's right in the middle.
I think it's a close fight too. And with that, give me the dog.
I got to pick Fiziev.
Yeah, plus 175 RDA is here.
If RDA is the underdog, I would bet RDA.
Yeah, RDA plus 175, minus 225 on Rafael Fiziev.
I would also bet him by decision.
Yeah, I think that's quite surprising. All right, let me give Zhang Li my parlay, 5-fight parlay, and then I'll give quick picks here before that. So overall, props to you and Norton doing the today for doing the show. Of course, Zhang Li. Yeah, we're if anybody was here late, we're gonna try to go Monday or Tuesday for the most part moving forward. I like the UFCs a little earlier in the week. It gives me a little time for the cards. I'm a little more passionate. So starting at the bottom, I've got Ronnie Lawrence.
As do I.
Yep. We both have Kennedy Njoku.
We do.
We both have Cody Brundage.
We do.
We both have Antonina Shevchenko.
Yep.
Both have Ricky Tercios. Here's our first split of the night. Nunes, very unconfidently, but I have Nunes. You have Calvillo.
Yeah, Cynthia, but again, doesn't matter.
Right, yeah, and it's a bad fight. Next fight, got Jamie Malarkey in this one, but nervous.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say you're going Michael there, but yeah, I got Jamie as well.
I'm nervous, very nervous. Not nervous here. I got Jared Vanderaa.
Yep, Jared Vanderaa as well. Never get me to pick Chase Sherman.
Again, not nervous here. Jamie Pickett, I've got over Dennis Tululin. I'm not picking anybody in the UFC against Dennis Tululin.
Yeah, Jamie Pickett.
I can't believe that's a main card fight. Next fight, great fight. Oh man, Said Nurmagomedov versus Douglas Silva de Andrade. Give me the big dog plus 230. Douglas Silva de Andrade catches him round 2 KO.
Okay, well I'm going Said.
Let's go. Co-main event time: Caio Borralho versus Armen Petrosyan. I've got Caio Borralho.
I'm going Petrosyan.
All right, interesting. And then the main event, we've got another disagreement here. I'm on the Brazilian. Rafael Dos Anjos, 5-round veteranship, edges out that decision 3-2.
Yeah, I think that's smarter than my pick, but I can't see the body shots surviving well, so I'm going Fiziev.
The odds are on your side here. And then the 5-fight parlay that I will put together for Zhang Li, Ronnie Lawrence. I'm putting on there Kennedy Njoku. I'm putting on there Cody Brundage, I'm putting on there. So we're starting with the first 3 fights of the night, so we'll know very early. And you know what? We're going to make this an extra nasty one. Jared Vanderaa and Jamie Pickett. My 5-fight parlay for this week is Ronnie Lawrence, Kennedy Njoku, Cody Brundage, Jared Vanderaa, and Jamie Pickett. You're never going to get a greasier, grosser one than that. I feel dirty for saying it, but there it is. That's how much I love you, Jean Lee. That's your 5-fight parlay for this week. Happy 4th, everybody out there who celebrates. We beat those Englishmen, and we speak English to this day. So what a war we won. We did it. Me doing this show with Lewis, it took hundreds of years for us to get to this point. So honestly, appreciate you, Lewis. Coming up on this week, you're going to be having tons of breakdowns for next week's fights. Got a few that we're going to be recording right after this. So super excited there. But thanks for everybody who joined us. Appreciate the new subscribers. I will be back with Lucky Locks probably on Wednesday for the LFA breakdown show. So Lucky Locks makes his return. So definitely check out that. Probably around 3 p.m. Eastern time, 8 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. So we'll see you on Wednesday. But yeah, Lewis, anything else coming up on Norton before we take off?
Other than prepping for UFC London at the end of the month, I'm going to try and do every single fight on that card. And hopefully with a special guest.
Nice. That special guest is not me, I'm going to assume. So definitely tune in and check that out. But appreciate you guys all checking it out. Double-digit viewers today, as usual. Spread the word. Let's keep it going. We're up to like 545 or 550 now. So let's keep it going. Appreciate y'all. See you later in the week. Peace. New setup seems to be working great.